We all know about the power of positive thought. And when we think positively, we speak positively, and we act positively, and we do positively. When we do all those things consecutively, then predominantly positive things are going to be manifesting, aren't they? Now, I've just been in the gym and I met a friend who I just always have great conversations with. You know, it's on the AB level, and you know, he's not into conspiracy or philosophy or spiritualism. He's a bodybuilder and he's on steroids, and you wouldn't think it would be the case, but he speaks deeply and profoundly, spiritually, intelligently, and you know, I just said to him, I said, you've got to write a book about this. And he's kind of like, well, you know, it's kind of the last thing, he's never even thought about it. But what it's about, you see, he's been weight training for a long time now, and about 2 years ago he started to do some steroids, and he's been on the steroids now for 1.5 years or something like that, and he's discovered how his personality's changed, how his body's changed, how his confidence has changed for the worse. He said you would think that he'd have more confidence with guys and girls, but he says you don't. You lose confidence in both those realms. You lose confidence in all realms. You get paranoid, you become afraid, you become insecure, you become weak, you can't sleep. He says there's one gain, and that's you put on muscle mass. And then he says there are 9 deficits. So out of a round figure of say 10, 1 positive and 9 negative. And he's conveying himself in a super intelligent way, and he's only about 26 years old, maybe 28, something like that. Fantastic body,
so bad of you.
Good looking guy, you know, 6'2", and he's got it all going on, and his intelligence as well. He's got a nice demeanour, and you know, it's all there, but he tells me he's fighting with the devil. And so I told him the fable of the 2 wolves, when the you know, the in South American or North American Indian grandson goes to his chief, says, "Grandpapa, I've got 2 wolves in my chest." And the grandfather says, "Oh yeah, tell me about them." "Well, you know, one of them is, you know, telling me to do all good things, and the other one's telling me to do all the bad things. Grandfather, what should I do?" And the grandfather says, "Well, feed the one that serves you." We've all heard that, maybe different versions of it, but it's the same with our internal dialogue. You feed the one that serves us. And for those of you that remember seeing the old movie Animal House years ago, good God, you know, before most of you were born probably, but anyway, Animal House, you got the classic scenario of the devil on one shoulder and an angel on the other. And so, you know, you got to kill the devil. Got to kill the devil, people. And so how do you kill the devil? Well, by doing all positive stuff. And he says to me, he says, you look, on paper, it's the easiest thing in the world to do, because you just stop. You only have to do one thing. You just stop. And then that'll get rid of the 9 very negative, horrible symptoms. But of course, just doing that one thing, it ain't easy, because the devil's a powerful entity, and he will play on your insecurity, he'll play on your weaknesses, and he'll tell you that, well, you're going to lose weight, everyone's going to think you're ill, everyone's going to be mentioning that you're losing weight all the time, maybe they're going to be thinking that they can beat you up now, you're not as big and as tough and strong, and all these things. He was telling me that, you know, he'd be saying to his mum, still living in his mother's home, I think, it's a big enough house, and he's got his own business and all this, but whatever reason at the moment. And he's telling her to lock all the doors, check all the doors. Are the doors locked? All the time. She says, you keep asking me that. And he says, well, you don't know if someone's going to be breaking in or coming in. And she's like, no one's going to be coming in, no one's going to be breaking in. But he always thought there were. And then there was a roofer working on the roof over the road or something. And he thought the roofer was looking at him and wondering, does he know me? Does he think he knows something about me? Why is he looking at me? Deep-rooted paranoia. So the thing is about it, he knows it's going on and he knows he wants to get out of it, but what he said was, it crept up on me, all these things that crept up on me and changed my personality to something which barely was a semblance of what it was before. And you think that that's you. You've forgotten about your original personality and you don't know how you're treating people, and you don't know how you're being paranoid and all these sort of things. And so I spoke to him for about half an hour about this, and it was a superb conversation. And then when we finished speaking, we both go back to our workouts. Well, I started doing one particular exercise which I was working on, and I did double what I normally do under all other circumstances. And so I said to him, I said, fuck, you see what's happened? Because we've been having this positive dialogue, then that has pumped through endorphins, dopamine, glucose, whatever, through my veins, and I was twice as strong. Now, if we can maintain that by our positive internal dialogue and our positive actions, look how powerful we become. We become very, very powerful. And so that was just, kind of like a synchronicity, a coincidence. The proof of the pudding was right there and then. The most I'd done on this particular exercise was 25 in recent times, and then I just did 40. And so a significant difference. Now, I've known the power of positive thoughts and, all this sort of stuff all my life, and I've always engaged in it, and that's why I've always achieved the vast majority of things that I've wanted to, and I've always reaped good rewards and results from my labours, and I've always been naturally a positive disposition, and that is a blessing, because if you are not naturally positive, if you're a pessimist or depressive, then of course it's really, really difficult to win at this positive thinking game. But there's just food for thought there, people. These things like The Secret and the power of now, be present, we'll do it for half a day, and then we'll remember to do it a couple of days after, and then all of a sudden we're back into our normal patterns, and it's the same with the positive thinking. Oh yeah, you're working out in the gym for 3 days, and then all of a sudden you don't feel like going the next day, and then 2 days after that you go to the gym and you forgot all about it, and you went, oh fuck, I was supposed to be doing this positive thinking. I think unless it isn't a part of you naturally, genetically, unless you don't have a predisposition to that, then you're going to find it hard, and that's why most people will give up. If you are a sort of variety of person which doesn't lean either way, then of course that's easier for you. So you've got the easiest is a positive leaning person. The next easiest is someone that doesn't really lean anyway. And then the hardest, of course, is the person with the proclivity to think and lean in the negative. So, thinking